I don't think you all understand who I am.
Her nickname's Drunky the Bear. We know they drank from sunup to sundown.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
It's her day to pick up the kid, but
Okay.
it doesn't always happen. 1 or 2 days a week, maybe she gets them.
I excel at everything.
She hasn't worked for over 2 years. I mean, she was always calling to borrow money, and but it's been like 2 years since she got a job. She keeps on telling me she's looking. She's always finding the good opportunities and everything, but...
Hey, Boonies, how are we? Today is Friday, September the 6th, 2024, and I thought we'd look at something that's been uploaded to the docket today. Let me share this with you all. I really think this is interesting. This is their provision of discovery. Got a lot on here, you guys. Lots of items. USB case packet, 16 gigabytes. So we've got 911. There's a thing that says 911 and then it says calls for service. So I'm thinking that the 911 is the actual incident 911 call for his death call. Then I think the calls for service are past 911 calls that they had. Gotta be, right? Here, let me blow this up so you guys can see it. Gotta be, right? The CAD, they're bringing in domestic violence history. And I think the reason this is coming up is because, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't remember what the last list said. They put out so many of these, but this seems to be the longest list I've seen so far because they're going in with this battered spouse syndrome defense. It looks like the state's going all in on their history. We're hoping that the jury is going to be able to see all these other calls and the way Sarah manipulated the whole situation. I mean, she was actually jumping up and down at one point and excited that the cops were there because it was the same guys. And she was obviously drunk. It's just going to show the true Sarah. Incident reports, plural. So all the past incidents. We know they're going to have interviews. Orange County Fire Department run sheet. Not sure what that is. That's probably has to do with the paramedics, I'm thinking. Then you've got the Orange County Medical Examiner case synopsis. Property forms. Is that the property evidence, chain of evidence or whatever? The stuff that they picked up from the house and put into evidence? We know that they had the Publix video surveillance. That's been on there before. Copy of the search warrants. Social media. The only social media that I could find was his. I did find Sarah's. Sarah's social media was like non-existent almost. She had a few pictures. Sarah had a Facebook, but she hardly posted anything on it. But y'all tell me if y'all found different. When I went on to George's Instagram, I looked back on the pictures of his life before Sarah. I just saw normalcy, really. He seemed to have a good relationship with his ex. Of course, now there's social media, so, everybody portrays their best of their best, but I don't know. I wonder if that's what the prosecution is bringing in, if they're going to say, this was George before Sarah, now this is George after Sarah type thing. 2 videos from Sarah Boone's cell phone. Well, we know what those 2 are. Those are the only 2 they're going to bring out? CSC form. Not sure what that is. And then we've got the detective's investigative report. We've got the written sworn statement. Is that Deputy Jamro? I think that might be a deputy statement. Partial extraction report call logs. Okay, extraction would be her cell phone. So they're going to bring out the call. I think that has to do with timeline. Using her phone to see exactly if it follows the timeline of what she said they did that night and surrounding the incident. Waivers and affidavits from Sarah Boone. That's what they have on their USB packet. They're turning over to the defense, right? Okay, so then they have the discs that have the 911 call on it, the interviews, the videos from her cell phone, the public surveillance video, CSI photos from this crime scene. Then they specifically say suitcase video and device photos. I saw this before, and I think I've mentioned it before too with you guys. Videos from Sarah Boone's cell phone. Then they specify suitcase video and device photos. There's more on Sarah's cell phone that we're going to end up seeing than just those two videos we've already seen of him in the suitcase. Then you've got the medical examiner's photos, and you've got a DVD with audio interview with Brian, Sarah, and then cell phone videos. One thing I wanted to bring up, you guys, in that last 911 call, the body cam that I released last week, George said he was trying to find his cell phone. Sarah, in her interview with the detectives, has always said, well, he didn't have a cell phone. He used mine. And I don't know if y'all remember. You have to forgive me because I've been recording some stuff and putting some things together, and some stuff I haven't put out to you yet. So if I get confused as to there's so much, I forget what I put out and what I haven't put out. But in one of my videos that I'm working on or have put out, I have discussed the fact that Sarah said he didn't have a cell phone. He used hers. But I found it incredibly strange that if they were sharing the cell phone, as Sarah says, that he did not have access to it via a passcode or a facial or a fingerprint. I wonder if there's some cell phone footage that we're going to see from George's old cell phone. Because what if George's old cell phone is in the house? Let's say the service ran out or something. He didn't renew the service, but the phone was still there. They could do that, and then they could also pull all the records. I do know I saw that Padilla had the records for AT&T pulled, and AT&T was Sarah's phone. Then they've got a 32 BG USB drive, a digital forensic extraction for cell phones. Yep, plural, phones. They've got his in there too. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We're going to see what was going on. You know what I'm thinking? If he had any kind of discussions with any other women, like they said, like if they're going towards that whole battered spouse syndrome, and the prosecution is like, no, Sarah was pissed because he was talking to other women. They're going to be able to pull out that, because we don't care if George was cheating on her. The jury doesn't care if he was cheating on her, still doesn't deserve to die because he was cheating on her. But if the prosecution can prove that he had been talking with other women while he was technically still on and off with Sarah, motive. Now, they don't need motive to prove their case, but that's interesting, right? Let's see what else has been up. There was a notice of intent that was filed today also. Let's see what this is all about. Yep, this is the battered spouse syndrome coming from James Owen. Comes now the defendant by and through the undersigned attorney. Battered spouse syndrome defense of the Florida Rule of Criminal Procedure gives notice of intent to rely on the defense of battered spouse syndrome and state, at the time of the alleged offense, the defendant was suffering from battered woman syndrome. As a result of the physical and psychological abuse the defendant sustained at the hands of the alleged victim, Jorge Torrez. Good luck with that, Mr. Owens. Okay, he did confirm with Harper she's on board. So Dr. Julie Harper will be a Category A witness for the defense in establishing this condition on behalf of the defendant. So basically, Dr. Julie Harper has spoken with Sarah. That holds about as much weight as a glass of water. I don't know. Dr. Julie Harper, forensic psychologist, Northwest Florida Psychological Services. She's out of Fort Walton Beach, which is very close to him. It's in Milton. All right. So that's what we got so far. Now, so I've spoken with our favorite Florida private investigator, Sam, and she is going over this battered spouse syndrome case that Owens had previously mentioned. And we're going to pull some items from that and work on a video probably this weekend for you guys to look at the case that they plan on showing. Kind of let's look at what this other case, what happened in it, so we can kind of see where Owens is going to go. So that'll be interesting. And also, Julie Harper testified in that case. So stay tuned for that. Until then, I want to thank you guys, as always, for sticking with me on my channel. And I'll be back shortly. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out. And feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.